Good morning, all. In previous lecture, we have seen the examples depends on this property, that is division by S property. If L inverse of F bar S upon S, then its inverse Laplace transform is equal to integration from 0 to t ft dt, that is ft means the other notation is inverse of F bar S dt. So if in the given example, if the S term or S square term or S cube term etc., these terms are in denominator, then we can use this division by S property. So these examples we have seen. So let us see the next property, that is convolution theorem. So in your exam, that is in M3 paper, we have asked the find the inverse Laplace transform by using convolution theorem. Specifically, it is mentioned that the given example we have to solve by the convolution theorem. So if it is mentioned that the convolution theorem, this term or this method is mentioned in the question, then we have to compulsory use that convolution theorem only. Because in inverse Laplace transform you can solve one example by many methods, by using division by S property, by using partial fraction method also, and by using this method, that is convolution theorem. So if in the question it is mentioned that you have to solve the inverse Laplace, you have to solve the example or find the inverse Laplace transform by convolution theorem, then solve that example by using convolution theorem only. You can't solve that example by the other method. You will get the 0 marks. If your answer is correct, but by the other method, but it is not the correct method consider for giving the marks. So if it is mentioned that convolution theorem by using convolution theorem, then solve by that convolution theorem method only. So what is the convolution theorem? So if there are two functions, consider the two functions, and if we have the two functions in S variable, that is two equations in S, and its inverse Laplace transform if we know, then we can find the inverse of the product of these two equations. That is, consider the two functions, first function named as f1s, second function as f2s, and if we know or if we can find the inverse Laplace transform of these two functions, that is inverse of f1s, inverse of f2s, that is your other notation f1t and f2t. The two functions is f1t and f2t. Then we can find the inverse of this product of these two functions. Then inverse of f1 into f2 equal to, the convolution theorem is in the form of integration from 0 to t. So 0 to t f1u into f2 t minus u du. That is, the inverse of first function is f1t. From f1t we have to find the f1u. That is, in f1t function, that is which is in t equation, t variable equation, we have to replace that t by u and we get f1u. This convolution theorem we can study it in detail while we see the examples. So from f1t find f1u, and from f2t find f2t minus u. That is, we have to replace in f2t we have to replace t by t minus u, and in f1t we have to replace t by u. We get f1u and f2t minus u, and take its product and take the integration from 0 to t with respect to u. So this is the whatever the integration answer we get, that is your inverse Laplace transform of product of these two functions. So in exam, the two functions, that is f1s and f2s, are not given separately. It is your choice that we have to split the given example which is in given in question. That example or that equation we have to split into two functions or two equations, and in that one equation we have to consider as F1s and second as F2s. So here this is the first step to solve the example by convolution theorem. So first step is by convolution theorem. First step is split the given equation. Consider this example. Find the inverse Laplace transform of following function by using convolution theorem. So this is your equation given, s upon s square plus 1 into s square plus 4. So split this equation into two equations or two functions such that its inverse Laplace transform we can get. So here split or divide the given equation into two equations or two functions. Split the given equation, given example into two equations or two functions. Then one equation we have to consider as F1s and second as F2s. Then find its inverse Laplace transform. Inverse of F1s, inverse of F2s. So whatever we split the given example into two functions, that is F1 and F2, its inverse Laplace transform we have to obtain, and it is compulsory. So such two functions we have to split, F1 and F2, so that we can find its inverse, that is inverse of F1 and inverse of F2. Then fourth equation is whatever the L inverse of F1s we get, that answer is your F1t. So inverse of F1s, say that equation as F1t, because when we take the inverse of F1s we get the answer in t variable, and that equation in t we have to take as F1t, and the second L inverse of F2s as F2t. Then in F1t put t equal to u. In F1t put t equal to u, and we get F1u. And in F2t put t equal to t minus u, we get F2t minus u. And then the L inverse of given example is equal to integration from 0 to t, take its product F1u into F2 t minus u, and take its integration with respect to u from 0 to t, and whatever we get the answer, that is your required inverse of given example. So these are the steps. First, split the given example into two equations. Take that first equation as F1s. You can take any equation as F1s and any remaining equation as F2s. So it is not a sequentially set that particular equation we have to take as F1 and particular as F2. So you can take any equation as F1 and any remaining equation as F2. Then take its inverse Laplace transform. Then whatever the answer we get, assume that first function as F1t, second as F2t. Replace in F1t t by u, in F2t t by t minus u. Whatever we get, that is your F1u and F2t minus u functions. Take its product and take the integration with respect to u. Whatever we get the answer, that is your required given example inverse Laplace transform. So these are your steps for convolution theorem. So let us see. So again one important hint or one important step, that In previous examples, whatever the examples we have solved by partial fraction method or division by S property method, these examples also you can solve by the convolution theorem. So as we are study the methods one by one, hence we solve these examples by particular that method only. But now this is your last method in inverse Laplace transform. So first is inverse Laplace transform by direct using direct formulae. Then first shifting property, second shifting property, then division by S property, partial fraction method, and inverse Laplace transform of derivative, and then lastly convolution theorem. So these are in total the inverse Laplace transform of these are the methods. So here now all the methods we have studied. This is your last method. So in previous examples, these examples you can solve by the any method. If in example it is mentioned that this example, so there are two questions or two methods which mentioned always in exam, that is partial fraction method and convolution theorem. So in many question papers you can see that given example we have to solve by the partial fraction method or by the convolution theorem. So for particularly these examples we have to use that method only. That is, if in example this example is we have to solve by the partial fraction method, then use partial fraction method only. If in example it is mentioned that this example you have to solve by the convolution theorem, then use convolution theorem only. If it is not mentioned, that is any method is not mentioned in the question, then only you can solve that example by any method, by division by S property or by partial fraction method or by convolution theorem. So first example is find the inverse Laplace transform of following function by the convolution theorem. So function is s upon s square plus 1 into s square plus 4. So here we are taken first function as s upon s square plus 1 and remaining is 1 upon s square plus 4. We have to first step is we have to split this given equation into two functions such that the product will be your original example. So here I have splitted the given function as s upon s square plus 1 and the remaining function is 1 upon s square plus 4. So that its inverse Laplace transform we can find. So this is your first function, take it as f1s. This is your second function, take it as f2s. In this example it is your choice. You can take by anyhow or by any method you can split the given example. So in this you can take f1s as 1 upon s square plus 1 and second function as s upon s square plus 4. 1 upon s square plus 1 and s upon s square plus 4. So this f1s and f2s give the same answer. So take 1 upon s square plus 1, s upon s square plus 4, or take s upon s square plus 1, s upon s square plus 1 and 1 upon s square plus 4. So you can take by any method. So it is your choice how to take the f1s and f2s. Only remember that you have to find its inverse Laplace transform. Whatever the function you consider as f1 and f2, its inverse Laplace transform you have to find compulsorily. So here f1s is s upon s square plus 1, f2s is 1 upon s square plus 4. Then its inverse Laplace, second step is find its inverse Laplace transform. So inverse of f1s, inverse of f2s. So s upon s square plus 1. So there is a direct formula of inverse Laplace transform, s upon s square plus 1. So s upon s square plus 1. So s square value is 1, a is 1. So its inverse is cos at, that is cos a value is 1. So cos t. So its first f1s inverse is cos t, and 1 upon s square plus 4. It's use direct formula 1 upon s square plus 4. So a square value is 4. Use this formula 1 upon s square plus 4. So by comparing we get a square equal to 4. A value is 2. Put a value here, sine 2t upon 2. Sine 2t upon 2. So these are your two inverse Laplace transform by using directly by using the inverse Laplace transform formula. So first function, inverse of f1s is cos t, take as f1t. Inverse of f2s is equal to sin 2t upon 2. Assume this function as f2t. Then next step is, in f1t put t equal to u. So here cos t is your first function f1t. Put here t equal to u. So we get, as f1t is cos t, then f1u is, because in formula we want f1u. So in this f1u means put t equal to u. So cos u. This is your f1u. So this is your example. So the inverse of required example is equal to, put this f1u and f2t minus u here. So integration from 0 to t. f1u means cos u, and f2 t minus u means, in f2t the second inverse Laplace transform answer half sin 2t. In this replace t by t minus u. So half sin 2 into t minus u. Half sin 2 into t minus u. This is your f2t minus u. So simplify this and take the integration by using integrating formula. So cos u as it is, half take outside. So sin multiply by 2. So 2t minus 2u du. So solve this integration. So here there is a product of two trigonometric functions. So you have to use the double angle formula, that is 2 cos sin. So we have to adjust 2 here. So by multiplying and dividing by 2, so this will be, in denominator this will be originally 2 and adjusted number 2, 2 into 2 4. So integration from 0 to t, 2 cos u sin 2t minus 2u du. So apply the formula. The formula is 2 cos sin, that is 2 cos sin. The angle is AB. So this is your this is the group of formulae, that is 4 formulae. So 2 sin cos sin, this is your second formula in that 4 formulae group. So 2 sin cos sin cos sin sin. So this is your second. So on right side, sin plus sin minus sin. So sin minus sin, and the angle is, first is a plus b, second is a minus b. So this is your formula. So apply here. So here a value is u cos a, that is cos a value is u, and b value is sin b, sin 2t minus 2u. So b value is 2t minus 2u. So put a b values here. So sin a plus b, u plus 2t minus 2u. So 2t minus u. Add these two angles, u plus 2t minus 2u. So u minus 2u is minus u, and 2t as it is, sin minus sin. Then subtract a minus b. So a minus b is u minus, second angle is your brackets. So u minus 2t minus 2u. So simplify this, u minus 2t plus 2u, that is 3u minus 2t d. So the product of, there is a product of two trigonometric functions, so we can't get the integration directly. So use this double angle formula, 2 cos sin formula, that is sin minus sin. So we get the trigonometric functions in the subtraction form and we can take the integration. So here 1 by 4 as it is, sin integration is sin bracket integration. So first sin x integration is minus cos x. So sin bracket integration is minus cos b upon common term is in the denominator, that is derivative of b. So here b value is 2t minus u. So 1 by 4 sin bracket integration is minus cos b, that is 2t minus u upon derivative of b. So b value is 2t minus u. here we are using sign bracket formula. So sign bracket, this is your b value, this is your b value. So these are your regular formulae. We have generally or many times we use this formula in previous examples. So sign bracket formula, minus cos b upon derivative of b minus cos b upon derivative of b. So 2t minus u derivative with respect to. So this integration is with respect to u. So we have to take the derivative of b again with respect to u only. So here 2t minus u. So with respect to u, 2t is constant. So constant derivative is 0. Minus u derivative is minus 1 because minus u is your variable. So minus x derivative is minus 1. So instead of x we have asked here minus u. So minus u derivative is again minus 1. Then minus, again sign bracket integration is minus cos b value is here 3u minus 2t upon derivative of b. So b is 3u minus 2t. So 3u derivative is 3 because if instead of u in formula 3x derivative is 3. So here in formula x is variable, here integration is with respect to u, that is u is your variable and rest of other variables are constant. That is u is variable and t is constant. So 3u derivative is 3 because 3x derivative is 3. Hence 3u derivative is, here u is variable, so 3u derivative is 3. And with respect to u, here the integration is, so 2t is constant, so constant derivative is 0. So 3u minus 2t derivative is 3 from 0 to t. So put these limits, and these limits are for u because integration is with respect to u. So put u equal to t, and for lower limit put u equal to 0. So these are limits for u. So 1 by 4 as it is. Simplify this first, minus minus plus, so cos 2t minus u, again minus minus plus 1 by 3 cos 3u minus 2t from 0 to t. So by simplifying we get, first put u equal to t. So 2t minus t plus 1 by 3 cos 3t minus 2t cos t. For lower limit take minus sign, put u equal to 0. So here cos 2t we get, again minus 1 by 3 cos, put u equal to 0. So 0 minus 2t, so cos minus 2t. So here by putting upper limit and lower limit we get this. So by simplifying first two terms, because these are the same terms, cos t terms. So by simplifying, by taking cross multiplication, here 1 plus 1 by 3, that is 3 plus 1, 4 by 3 cos t, merge these first two terms, and then second terms cos 2t minus cos 2t minus 1 by 3 cos of minus 2t. So cos of minus 2t is, use formula, cos of minus theta is cos theta. So cos of minus 2t is cos t. So here minus cos 2t as it is, minus 1 by 3 cos of minus 2t is cos 2t. Again merge this last two terms. So minus 3 minus 1 minus 4 by 3. So here 1 by 4, 4 by 3 cos t minus 4 by 3 cos 2t. So by simplifying or merging these first two terms and last two terms, using cos of minus theta is cos theta. So cos of minus 2t is cos 2t. So by taking cross multiplication, merge means take the cross multiplication. So minus 3 minus 1 minus 4 by 3. So here take this 4 by 3 outside. So we get 1 by 3 cos t minus cos 2t. This is your answer. Then the next example is find the inverse of, by using only convolution theorem we solve this. If it is not mentioned, then you can solve this example by convolution, by partial fraction also. This example is you can solve by partial fraction method or division by S property, but here the method is mentioned, that is by convolution theorem. So use convolution theorem here. So inverse of 1 upon s into a square minus a square. So split this function equation into two equations so that you can find the inverse of these two functions. So here I split the two functions into two functions as one is 1 by s and second is 1 upon s square minus a square. So this is the only one possibility, but in previous example you can take f1 as 1 upon s square plus 1 and f2 as s upon s square plus 4. 1 upon s square plus 1 and remaining s upon s square plus 4. You can take that functions also. But here only possibility is 1 upon s and 1 upon s square minus a square. So here roughly you can take f1 equal to 1 upon s square plus 1, f1 equal to 1 upon s square plus 1 and f2 is s upon s square plus 4 and solve by this method. You get the same answer. So the answer will not be changed by taking any f1s and f2s. So here we consider f1 as 1 upon s square minus a square and f2 as 1 upon s. So here there is one hint. You can take by any it is your choice. You can take by any method, that f1 and f2s, but for having easy calculation in evaluating the integration, so here whatever you consider first function and second function, by its inverse Laplace transform we get first function f1t and second function f2t. In first function we have to replace t by u, we get f1u. In second function, whatever you consider the second function, in that second function we have to replace t by t minus u, we get f2t minus u. So replacing t by u and replacing t by t minus u, so this is your bigger term in the calculation. So there is one hint, you can use that hint also, that is after taking the inverse, or here you can use f1 equal to 1 by s and f2 equal to 1 upon s square minus s square. But instead of that I consider here first function as 1 upon s square minus s square, because after taking the inverse Laplace transform, so 1 by s inverse is 1 because it is diode inverse Laplace transform formula, and 1 for 1 upon s square minus s square, again this is diode inverse Laplace transform formula. It's the formula of its inverse is 1 upon s square minus a square inverse is sine hyperbolic at upon a. So in the denominator there is a minus sign, so there is a formula 1 upon s square minus a square is sine hyperbolic at upon a. So here it is easy. I show you both the methods, that is by taking f1 equal to 1 upon s and f2s equal to 1 upon s square minus a square. So its inverse is 1, that is your f1t, and its inverse is sine hyperbolic at upon a, that is your f2t. So in this f1t we have to replace t by u. So f1u equal to, here the function is given as 1, that is there is no any t here. So replacing t by u, this question is not arise here, because if the constant is there, then f1t equal to 1 and f1u is also 1, because for replacing the t is absent here because t is not there. So replacement, this step is not there, or replacing the t by u, this case is not here because f1t is given as 1, that is constant, and replacing here t by u, this case is not here because the constant is given. So f1t is 1, then f1 is also 1 because replacing is not there. Then from f2t function we have to obtain f2t minus u, that is replace t by t minus u. So sine hyperbolic t by t minus u upon a. So in integration 1 into, take the product, 1 into sine hyperbolic t minus u upon a. So this is your inverse of required example. So this is one method that we consider the easy equation or smaller term as f1, and in second method take f1 is equal to 1 upon s square minus a square. So there is no any sequence for considering the f1s and f2s. So you can take any function as f1 and any function as f2. So consider f1 as 1 upon s square and f2 as 1 upon s. Then its inverse f1t equal to sine hyperbolic at upon a, and f2t equal to 1 upon s inverse is 1. So from this replace t by u. So f1 u is sine hyperbolic au upon a, and in f2 t minus u, that is from f2 t we have to obtain f2 t minus u, that is replace t by t minus u. So here constant is given, so there is no any replacement case, that is replace t by t minus u. So here t is absent, t variable is absent, so there is no any change, that is f2 t minus u is again 1. So if constant is given, then there is no any change in the f2 t minus u, that is the replacement is not the case here. So in integration, so inverse of required example equal to integration from 0 to t and the product of these two terms. So sine hyperbolic au upon a into 1 d. So which integration is easy, this or this? So this integration is very easy as compared to this. So what we have to remember here, we have to take, so here in both the functions this we have to remember, that is the smaller term f2s or f2t. After taking the inverse Laplace transform, whatever we get the f2t function, the f2t function will be the smaller term. Then only after replacing t by u and t by t minus u, whatever the product of these two terms we get in the integration, that integration will be easy to solve. So this is your hint, that is take the f2 function having smaller term. So this is smaller term as compared to this. So in this, as compared to this integration is easy. So here we have to remember the hint that f2 function, f2t function should be smaller term, and the remaining term we have to take as f1t. So f2t should be smaller term, then the integration will be easy to solve. So here we take 1 by s, its inverse Laplace transform is 1, so take it f2t should be smaller term. So this is your smaller term. So 1 upon s square minus s square. So by solving the example in exam, just take first one function 1 by s and another is 1 upon s square minus s square. Then take its inverse Laplace transform. It's 1 by s inverse is 1 upon s square minus s square is inverse is sine hyperbolic at upon a. Compare these both terms and decide which term is smaller. So this term is smaller as compared to this, so this term is smaller, then you can fix the which function is first and which function is second. So this is smaller term, so take f2t. So this is your f2t, then inverse of f2s, so this is your 1 by s is your f2s. So this is your remaining term is f1t, then inverse of f1s, and then this function is your f1s. So in this way you can fix the functions. Then inverse of this required example is equal to integration from 0 to t. In first function f1t replace t by u. So sin hyperbolic a u upon a, and in f2t function replace t by u. So there is no any replacement because constant is given. So f1u is your again 1 du. So take 1 by outside and sin hyperbolic au integration. So here sin hyperbolic au. So here we have to remember only two derivative and integration formulae for sin and cos only. So sin hyperbolic theta or sin hyperbolic x derivative is cos hyperbolic x, and cos hyperbolic x derivative is sin hyperbolic x. This is in derivative, and in integration the integration formulae are the reverse of the derivative formulae. So sin hyperbolic derivative is cos hyperbolic. So cos hyperbolic integration is sin hyperbolic, and sin hyperbolic integration, if we take this formula of derivatives in reverse order, we get the integration formula. So sin hyperbolic x integration is cos hyperbolic x. So here sin hyperbolic x integration. So here sin hyperbolic x integration is cos hyperbolic x, but only single variable is not given, au is given, that is constant into variable. Here the variable is, because integration is with respect to u, so variable is u. So here constant into variable is given. So here only single variable is if we given, then use the direct formula of this, but here we have to use the bracket formula. Sin hyperbolic bracket integration is cos hyperbolic bracket upon derivative of bracket, that is replace x by b and take that common term in denominator, that is derivative of b is your common term. So apply this formula. Sin hyperbolic b integration is cos hyperbolic b is your au upon derivative of b, that is au derivative with respect to u is a, because kx derivative is ku derivative is, because instead of x we have given u variable, so ku derivative is again k. So au derivative is a. So 1 upon a square, a into a 1 upon a square. So these are the limits for u. So put u equal to t. So cos hyperbolic at minus lower limit cos hyperbolic 0. Cos hyperbolic 0 is 1. So you can use the calci for finding the hyperbolic values. So 1 upon a square cos hyperbolic at minus 1. Then next is find the inverse of 1 upon s into s plus 1 s plus 2. So this example you can solve by the partial fraction method or division by s property, but this is compulsory, we have to solve by the convolution theorem. So here take 1 upon s into s plus 1 and second function is 1 upon s plus 2. So here you can take 1 upon s. So here we have to choose f2 as smaller term. So take f2s equal to 1 upon s plus 2. You can take I have taken that I will show you that f2 function as 1 upon s plus 2. So its inverse is 1 upon s plus 2. So take the direct inverse Laplace transform formula. 1 upon s plus 2, that is a value is 2, so e raised to minus 2t is inverse. So 1 upon s plus 2 inverse is e raised to minus 2t. f2s is equal to 1 upon s plus 2, inverse of f2s equal to e raised to minus 2t. This is your second function. And take the remaining function 1 upon s into s plus 1 as first function. So its inverse Laplace transform you have to find by using division by s property. You can use the partial fraction method also for finding the inverse of f1s only. In original example we are not using partial fraction method. In this example, for finding the inverse of one point, in this one point, that is particularly for one function f1s, we are using the partial fraction. So this is correct to use the partial fraction method. Originally we are using for finding the inverse of given required example, we are using convolution theorem. So in that, for finding the inverse of one particular function, we are using the division by S property, or you can use partial fraction method also. So division by S property is easy than partial fraction method. So division by S property is inverse of this f1s is equal to integration from 0 to t. So division by S property means the function. So here in division by S property, the function with 1 upon S, that is your fs function. So here 1 upon S plus 1 is your fs function. Don't use many steps for solving this integration or using the division by S property. So this is one particular step, not the whole example. So you can skip the calculative part or calculative steps to find the inverse of f1s. So here division by S property is inverse of f1s equal to, this is division by S property is your integration property from 0 to t, and we have to take the inverse of the function. That function is the function with 1 upon S, that is your fs. So here 1 upon S is your function, its inverse we have to take. So inverse of 1 upon S plus 1, and then take its integration from 0 to t. In detailing about this division by S property, you can see the previous videos. So here the function with 1 upon S, that is your fs. 1 upon S plus 1 is with 1 upon S. Take its inverse of 1 upon S plus 1, and then take its 0 to t integration. So inverse of 1 upon S plus 1 is e raised to minus t. 1 upon S plus 1, 1 upon S plus 1. So a value is 1. So e raised to minus t is your integration. Inverse. So e raised to minus t. So integration from 0 to e raised to minus t integration is e raised to minus t upon minus t derivative is minus 1. We are using e raised to x derivative, e raised to x integration is e raised to x. So here only single variable. Here variable is t, but minus t is given. That is, instead of single variable we have given bracket. So e raised to bracket integration is e raised to bracket upon derivative of bracket. So e raised to bracket is your, or e raised to b value is your minus t. So e raised to b upon b derivative, minus t derivative is minus 1 from 0 to t. So here integration is with respect to t. So put t equal to t and t equal to 0. So minus 1 inside the bracket, e raised to minus t as it is, minus e raised to minus 0 is 1. E raised to minus 0, that is 1 upon e raised to 0. Anything raised to 0 is 1. 1 upon 1 is 1. So e raised to minus t minus 1. So merge this minus sign to this, or multiply this minus 1 to this bracket. We get 1 minus e raised to minus t. So this is your first function f1t. So compare these two terms. In these two terms, by comparing, this term is smaller than this. So smaller term is your second function. So now you can fix the, after finding the first function inverse, or one function inverse answer, and second function or another function inverse answer, you can fix the which function is your f2t and which function is your f1t. So this is smaller than this. So this is your f2t. So this is your f2s. This is your f1t, and this is your f1s. Then put this f2t and f1t by taking replacing in f2t. In f1t, replace t by u. So 1 minus e raised to minus u. 1 minus e raised to minus u. And in f2t, replace t by t minus u. So e raised to minus 2 into t replaced by t minus u to t minus u. So simplify this first, the product terms, and then take the integration. So here 1 minus e raised to minus u as it is. Multiply this minus 2 to this bracket. So e raised to minus 2t minus minus plus e raised to minus 2t plus 2u. Then again multiply this bracket to this second term, or split this function as e raised to minus 2t plus 2u means e raised to minus 2t into e raised to 2u. So this integration is with respect to u. So this is your constant term, because u is here variable and t term is your constant term. So e raised to minus 2t take outside, and integration from 0 to t and remaining term e raised to 2u and 1 minus e raised to minus u, and then multiply e raised to 2u to this term. The calculation is like integration from 0 to t 1 minus e raised to minus u e raised to minus 2t plus 2u du. Split this second function, so integration from 0 to t. You need not to show all these steps. 1 minus e raised to minus u. Split these two terms, e raised to minus 2t into e raised to 2u. This integration is with respect to u, so this is your constant. Take outside e raised to minus 2t. Integration from 0 to t 1 minus e raised to minus u e raised to 2u du. Multiply this e raised to 2u to this, so e raised to 2u minus e raised to minus u into e raised to 2u du. Again merge these two terms, so e raised to minus 2t. Integration from 0 to t e raised to 2u minus e raised to, base is same, so add these powers, so 2u minus u is u du. And then take the integration. So e raised to minus 2t as it is. E raised to 2u integration is, use the e raised to bracket integration, e raised to b upon derivative of b. So e raised to b, e raised to 2u upon 2u derivative is 2 with respect to u from 0 to t, minus e raised to u integration is e raised to u, because u is here variable. E raised to x integration is e raised to x, because x is variable, so here u is variable, so e raised to u integration is e raised to u from 0 to t. So put upper limit and lower limit, these are limits for u, because here integration is with respect to u, so put u equal to t, u equal to 0, u equal to t and u equal to 0 here. So e raised to 2t upon 2 minus e raised to 0 upon 2. So e raised to minus 2t as it is. If it is not visible, then I will show you here in rough. So here e raised to minus 2t, e raised to 2u integration is e raised to 2u upon 2u derivative is 2, minus e raised to u integration is e raised to u from 0 to t, e raised to minus 2t as it is. Put u equal to t, so e raised to 2t upon 2 minus e raised to t, and for lower limit the minus sign we have to take, minus e raised to 0 upon 2, e raised to 0, anything raised to 0 is 1, so 1 upon 2, and this minus sign, lower limit minus sign is get plus. So e raised to 0 is 1. Simplify this, e raised to minus 2t, e raised to 2t upon 2 minus e raised to t, 1 minus half, take 2 outside, so 1 upon 2, and then write this answer, or you can simplify as take 1 by 2 outside, so this is e raised to minus 2t as it is, and in bracket take 1 by 2 outside, so e raised to 2t minus, we are taking 1 by 2 outside, so here we have to take 2, so 2 e raised to t plus 1. Then 1 by 2 as it is, multiply this e raised to minus 2t to this bracket, so e raised to minus 2t into e raised to 2t, that is minus 2t plus 2t 0, e raised to 0 is 1, or you can write first as minus 2 as it is, e raised to minus 2t into e raised to t, power addition is minus 2t plus t e raised to minus t, and plus e raised to minus 2t into 1 e raised to minus 2t, so 1 by 2, 1 minus 2 e raised to minus 2t plus e raised to minus 2t. Write this as it is, or if we are not wrong, this is the square of, what is the, this is the expansion of which terms, so 1 minus e raised to minus t. You can split, you can expand this, a minus b bracket square, a square 1 minus 2ab, 2 into 1 into e raised to minus t, 2 into e raised to minus t, plus b square, e raised to minus t square is e raised to minus 2t, so it is correct. So you can write this final answer, or you can write this answer. So this is your example. Thank you.